the future of the industry is a really, really complex question.
Well, what makes it complex? I'm curious.
There's so many facets to it, right? So there's all the service verticals of it, right? So you have the RMC vertical, the managed relocation vertical, the sub verticals of household goods, temp housing, real estate, mortgage, et cetera. And then you have times global, right? And so now times 50 countries or whatever, let's say, where there's like, sizable relocation activity in. And so you have this multiplier effect. So it's like, so on a macro level, I would say we are in a shrinking industry of managed relocation. It's been shrinking if you look at volumes over the last 10, 15 years. On a micro level, there's pockets of opportunity. And I think it's important to focus on what those pockets of opportunity are. For instance, global is growing. I had a speaker, Parag Khanna, Dr. Parag Khan, who's phenomenal. He just published a book called Move. He's published several books on mobility, probably the foremost academician thought leader on global mobility in the world. And yet no one in our industry knows who he is or talks about him. And he talks about the migratory patterns of people all over the world. And he says, mobility is increasing. And yet here we are sitting in the managed relocation space. And we're like, our pie is shrinking. So what's the delta there? What's the gap? Well, people are doing it independently. They're not doing it as part of a company move. So, okay, so how do we adapt to meet what we in the moving business we call COD moves, consumer moves, right? How do we adapt to meet the needs of the self-directed relocation transferee or assignee? We're also seeing an increase in business travel and short-term assignments or just long-term business travel. And what are the needs of those people? Well, they still need compliance. They still need business travel tracking. In fact, you could argue compliance requirements are actually at all-time high because countries have woken up to the fact that, gosh, we have people all over the place working here and there. And oh, by the way, and literally just talking to Michelle Moore about this, today. And it's like, she brought to my attention, and that could trigger a tax nexus in that country. And we can grab some tax from this big corporation who've been trying to evade taxes from us for this long, so we can go grab it, right? And so there's opportunities for us as the smartest people in the room when it comes to global mobility to help companies navigate that. Similarly, we read the newspaper, old-fashioned newspaper. I feel like I'm getting old, right? We flip open the newspaper over our cup of joe in the morning, and we see front page article after front page article about mass migrations of people, whether it be the war in Ukraine, the Gaza conflict, Brexit, COVID, people repatriating, going here, moving out of city. I mean, all sorts of stuff having to do with the movement of people. And yet we seem like we tell ourselves that our business is shrinking, but yet people are moving all around us. So we have to, I think, re-engineer what we do as service providers in the global mobility industry to wrap our arms around this increasingly fragmented opportunity, but increasing opportunity. So I think there's a lot of really, really cool stuff going on. I love the way that the NEI Global is positioned. I mean, with your offices abroad, great young talent you got here, right? I mean, y'all are well positioned to capitalize on this, but I think we really have to wrap our arms around the tax industry, tax discipline, the immigration discipline, the business travel compliance discipline. These are some of the areas that we have to bone up when our services historically have been very domestic focused, right? Real home sale, moving, temp housing. Like we have to, I think, get good at stuff we haven't always been good at.